This is Iron Man Stewart's Super Off-Road. This version I'm showing you is on Midway Classics Edition 3 on the original Xbox. They don't have the license to use Ivan Stewart's name, so they got rid of it and just called it Super Off-Road. Also in the Xbox version, they added a mustache to the guy and gave him sunglasses, so they kind of made him look different than Ivan Stewart, as you will see in the arcade. Nevertheless, the graphics are identical. It was released in 1989 in the arcades by a smaller manufacturer called Leland Corporation. This was probably one of Leland's biggest hits in the arcade. They also released Dragon Glare 2 in the arcade called Quarterback. Leland Corporation would eventually be bought out by what is now WMS Industries, which was back then known as Williams Corporation. The gameplay is heavily inspired by Atari's Super Sprint, released several years before in the arcade. In the arcade, it was really cool because there's 3 steering wheels and there's a pedal down below that you could press on for acceleration. The gameplay for Super Off-Road is fairly simple. Driving around the track and trying to get first place. And while doing so, you'll pick up some items. You'll find there's some cash, which you can use to purchase some upgrades later on for your vehicle, which will become important later. And there's also nitros, which you can pick up, which will give you a temporary speed boost, which you'll have to use strategically to try to get first. And is also one of the very first racing games where you can actually upgrade your items using your cash, similar to games like Gran Turismo today. A big difference between the arcade Super Off-Road and the home counterpart is that at the arcade you actually enter coins, and the more you enter coins, the more currency you can increase. So you actually maximize your items fairly quickly. You can get up to 99 nitros, for example. Whereas in the home console, you only have currency from what you win from the races, so it makes it a little bit more tricky. Speaking of home versions, this game was ported to a number of different platforms, both computer and console, at home markets, and it was produced by Virgin Games. The Super Nintendo version of Super Off-Road does not include the Stewart license, however it does have the Toyota license, which is interesting because the trucks have the Toyota logo on them, and when you started each race, it would have the jingle, "I love what you do for me, Toyota," which was the slogan back during this time. Another interesting port for this game was for the Nintendo Entertainment System, produced by Trade West, who was a subsidiary of the Leland Corporation. Super Off-Road is usually a 3-player game, however in the Nintendo game, you can actually play up to 4 players using the multiplayer tab, which made the game a lot more interesting. This particular version is actually known as the Track Pack, which was an upgrade for the original arcade. The main difference between the Track Pack and the original arcade is that there are 8 different levels, new tracks, new shortcuts. And one big difference is not only can you play as a normal truck, but you can also play as the Dune Buggy, which they have different characteristics. There are a number of sequels in the series of Super Off-Road, the first being exclusively for the Super Nintendo called Super Off-Road The Baja, which is a third-person perspective racer. There was also Off-Road Challenge, made for the arcade and later ported to the Nintendo 64. And the last one they released in the series was Off-Road Thunder, released in 1999 in the arcades. The last bit of trivia I want to share for you regarding this game are the names of the drivers. Most of the names of the drivers are actually real names of people who helped make the game for Leland Corporation. The only exception being the white driver in the arcade is Ivan Stewart, but due to the reasons of licensing, they had to change the name. Overall, this is a really fun game. I really enjoyed this playing in the arcade, and I hope you guys get the chance to play it if you haven't done so already. Thanks for watching.